Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new Max Talks box office. Here at Max Talks Movies, my name is Max Dinenberg. Today, I am breaking down the box office of this past weekend, which is March the 6th to the 8th, 2026. Looking at the movies that are hitting theaters this weekend and also telling you guys some videos that are going to be hitting the channel this week. So my name is Max Dinenberg. Welcome back to Max Talks Movies. If you guys are new, please hit that subscribe button, ring that bell so notified when my videos hit the channel. I do movie, TV show reviews, out of theater reactions, this video every single Monday, movie franchise rankings, all of those things. So please subscribe, ring the bell if you want to join the Max Talks Movies community. Comment down below. What are your guys' thoughts on the box office? Why were some movies hits? Why were one particular movie a massive flop? Love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section down below. I respond to all comments. Definitely please comment. And also, guys, please hit that thumbs up button. So let's get into the box office domestically of this past weekend, which was March the 6th to the 8th, 2026. The first official full box office weekend in the month of March here in 2026. And at number one this past weekend is Pixar's Hoppers, opening to $46 million at the box office this past weekend. It opened overall to $88 million worldwide, so 46 domestic, 42 international. And this is the biggest opening for a Pixar original movie since 2017's Coco. And this is definitely not an unbelievable hit for Pixar, but it's a very much makes Pixar back online. Pixar is my favorite film studio. I've been covering the box office for years, and Pixar has really struggled from an original movie perspective at the box office. Elio was a major disappointment for Pixar just a year ago. Elemental, while it didn't open, had one of the worst openings ever for a Pixar movie, did get it to nearly $500 million worldwide. But Pixar has been struggling. It really started during the pandemic when Pixar is one of the first major studios to consistently release their movies exclusively on Disney Plus and not in theaters. When they did that with Soul and Turning Red and Luca, that made a lot of people shift their viewpoints on Pixar theatrically, where I think many people said, well, Pixar is now becoming a studio that I can wait for in the comfort of my home. And this was a juggernaut movie studio for the last 30 years. And the fact that it made a lot of people question if they should go to the box office. Now, again, their sequels have done very well recently. Obviously, Incredibles 2 was a huge hit. Toy Story 4 was a massive hit in 2019. And Inside Out 2, very recently, was also a massive hit for Pixar. But their original movies like Lightyear, Elio, disasters really at the box office. So to see Hoppers do so well, Hoppers has really strong both critic and audience scores. And it does have a pathway here to be the main animated movie in the marketplace for another three more full weekends, excuse me, before the Super Mario Galaxy movie hits theaters in the first weekend in April. So big opportunity for Hoppers to continue to make money. And as I've been saying on this channel for over a year now, animated movies are maybe the hottest brands out there or hottest genres out there theatrically. We're going to talk about another animated movie that's also in the top 5. But animated movies and kids' films are doing really good here at the multiplex. They're turning out to be a great event space for families to go see movies. And the fact that this has unbelievable audience and critic scores, I think, helps as well. People really like Hoppers. 46 million, I think it's a really good opening. It has a reported budget of like 150 million. Again, Pixar's going to really need to stop making these movies so expensive. But based on its numbers, it should be able to break even, which is around 375 worldwide. As I said, Elemental, which opened much lower, did get to around 500 million worldwide. So we're going to continue to follow Hoppers and see where it falls on Pixar's entire filmography. Scream 7 is at number 2 in its second weekend. It dropped a whopping 73% in its second weekend, 17.3 million. Scream 7's up to 93 million domestic, 149 worldwide. So yes, does Scream 7 have an embarrassing second weekend drop? Yes. If you're over 70% on a second weekend drop, that is very bad for you. But the good news for Scream 7 is that it opened very big, over $60 million in its opening weekend. The budget's around $45 million. So again, this movie is already past the break-even point theatrically. So even though Scream 7, and I think a lot of haters of Scream 7 are rejoicing after such a huge drop in its second weekend, this movie still is going to be one of, if not the most successful film theatrically in the entire Scream franchise. That's why more likely we are going to see a Scream 8. But this makes sense. Most people don't seem to be liking Scream 7, both critics and audience-wise. So I expected a big drop. 73 is an extremely big drop. But as I said, they don't really care at this point. This movie is still just dancing in money. So we're definitely going to be seeing a Scream 8 in the near future. The big embarrassment of the weekend is The Bride from Warner Brothers, only opening to $7.2 million domestically. The film only opened to $13.5 million worldwide, and it has a whopping $100 million budget, really $90 million budget. This will go down as the first kind of big mainstream disaster at the box office in 2026. Maggie Gyllenhaal got a huge upgrade. She went from making a small Netflix movie back in 2021 to a big studio movie, $90 million. Warner Brothers has been on such a heater. They had an amazing 2025, which led them having such a big opportunity to sell Warner Brothers, Zaslav did. And here we are beginning 2026, and The Bride, which was, everyone knew, was going to be a massive risk. And the fact that it has a $90 million budget means it needs to make around like nearly 250 probably to break even, 240, 250 to break even theatrically. This movie's not going to come close to its break even. This will be a monster money loser for Warner Brothers. And it's going to be interesting now what Maggie Gyllenhaal does next, because will top major studios give her another look? Will she have to go to streaming movies? Maybe her next two films go straight to streaming with very low budgets. It's going to be interesting. I'll tell you what, it will be a long time, I do think, if she's going to make another theatrical movie to get a budget like she did for The Bride. Now, a lot of people thought this would be another bona fide hit because Jessie Buckley, who's the lead of this movie, is obviously going to be winning the Oscar this Sunday, and she's been winning all these awards. So she's been in the headlines for over 2 months now promoting Hamnet at all these award shows. That did not translate to box office success. This is her first big leap as a lead star in a big motion picture from a budget business perspective. And this is a big fail. So the question now, does Jessie Buckley now need to keep working on those indie-like movies and then go back to being a star in a big movie like this? Bale, again, won't be hurt by this. He's still a known commodity. But again, this was Jessie Buckley's film. But again, Christian Bale also, he's very hit or miss at the box office. He's had some unbelievable hits. He's had some big flops as well, especially recently at the box office. So I think Maggie Gyllenhaal, big problem here. This is a huge disaster for Warner Brothers, and $7.2 million opening on a $90 million budget is disaster is kind of the only word I can describe for The Bride. And number 4 this past weekend was GOAT. In its fourth weekend, it made another $6.6 million, only a 45% drop. It's up to $83 million domestic, $146 worldwide. For some reason, GOAT is not as big of a hit internationally, especially animated films are usually unbelievable international compared to domestic, but GOAT is doing much stronger numbers domestically than internationally. But still, GOAT is a big hit for a very solid hit for Sony. And as I said, even though Hoppers came in and swooped in and took $46 million, GOAT still dropped below 50% a month into its release. So that's really strong numbers for GOAT as it's continuing its run. And Wuthering Heights is at number 5 in its fourth weekend, dropping 44%, $3.7 million for Wuthering Heights, $78 million domestic, $134 international. So the movie's up to $213 worldwide. So Wuthering Heights, it's officially past its break-even mark of $200 million. So again, Wuthering Heights is going to be for Warner Brothers, not an embarrassment, not a flop, not a disaster like The Bride. It's not an overnight success. It's not a hit. but it was there. Wuthering Heights broke even, made its money. It will go down PVOD and then go straight to Max down the line. But again, I think that's the big difference between I think Wuthering Heights and The Bride. Two very big budgets, and the audience scores are bad for both Wuthering Heights and The Bride. But I think star power was a big deal. Margot Robbie even though she's not the biggest box office hero, she still is a much bigger star theatrically than Jessie Buckley. And obviously, Jacob Elordi is a young rising star as well. I think that helps a lot. Jessie Buckley and Bale haven't been in really bona fide hits in a very long time theatrically. That hurt as well. So, two films in the same studio with very similar critic and art and audience scores, but I think there's much more star power with Wuthering Heights. I think that's why that movie is going to do significantly better than The Bride. So let's get into this upcoming box office weekend. This is definitely the slowest amount of movies that are hitting theaters this weekend. We're going to get some big hits with Project Hail Mary coming up, but this weekend, there are two big movies hitting theaters this weekend, as they say. We have Undertone, a new A24 horror movie. As I said, while animated movies are very hot, horror is also a very hot genre at the moment, as I was talking about with Scream 7. Does A24 have a sleeper hit with Undertone? They're doing early Dolby screenings tonight, so it seems like they're very confident in the word of mouth for Undertone. And also hitting theaters is the third Colleen Hoover book to movie adaptation, Reminders of Him, starring Micah Monroe and Tariq Withers. It Ends With Us was obviously a massive success. The film based on Colleen Hoover's book from last year was not a big hit whatsoever, Regretting You. So we'll see if Colleen Hoover's book can get back on track theatrically with Reminders of Him. So I'm busy posting videos all week, tons of reviews, both TV show and movie review wise. I'm still planning out. I might be going to an early screening of something tonight. We're going to figure some things out, but I'm going to have videos for the most part every single day this week. That includes a big Oscar prediction video with myself. I'm bringing my brother along with me. We're going to be filling out our Oscar ballots. I'll have that video out late in the week. And then next Monday, I'm going to push my box office breakdown show to next Tuesday, because a week from today, I'll be breaking down recapping the Oscars. So let me know your thoughts, guys, on the box office down in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys in another video very soon.